live? We are live, yes. Good morning, friends. Welcome into our Yin Yoga on this rainy day in Ottawa. It is going to be focused on a rest day. We all need rest days and how important rest days are. And we're going to do some lovely poses to enlighten that rest day. So we are going to start by gathering up our props. So what we've done is we don't have any bolsters here, so we've grabbed a couple of pillows from the bed. I've got a foam roller, a block. You can maybe grab a towel or a blanket and get yourself organized. And so you've got everything ready to be able to relax into your poses. We need lots of props in Yin Yoga.
Am I a prop?
You are a prop. I will prop you up. And this is my wonderful husband, Martin, who props me up daily, and we prop each other up. All right. So if you've got all your props ready, we'll get started. And we will start in a reclining butterfly pose with cactus arms. So Supta Bandha Konasana. Yes. You know your Sanskrit. All right. So lying down on the mat, you're going to take your feet together and lie down onto your backs, and then open up those arms into cactus so that both arms are, elbows are bent.
Can you move that thing?
I can move that thing. So bend your elbows. Bend your elbows.
You're in the way.
Sorry. Oh, we're getting organized here. Okay. So, bend your elbows. That's it. Okay. Now you can bring those elbows down closer to your side body if that feels better. And you can also take some blocks and stick them right underneath your knees. Do you need any blocks?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay, move this pillow out of the way.
Can you move like the piano or something?
Do you want to bring so you want to be able to take your hands down to the floor. So bring your elbows closer to your body. Do you want some blocks under there?
Sure.
Yeah? And there's a pillow on the other side of you.
Okay.
You might want to grab that.
Just resting.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see that when we come into these yin poses, we have a lot of shimmying around to do to find that comfortable place where you can find your edge, but not so much that it's painful. We want to just kind of feel a stretch there, but nothing so much that you can't sit there and breathe. It's so important to be able to breathe in all of these poses. All right, we have arrived. We have arrived on the mats, and welcome to your yin practice. So today is a rest day. It's a rainy day, so it's a good day to take a rest day. And why do we need to take a rest day? There's so many great reasons why to take a rest day, and we'll be talking about that throughout the practice today. So first of all, let's just get onto the mat and focus on ourselves, taking the time to just notice where you're at right now. Noticing where your breath is and noticing how relaxed you're feeling in this pose. So let's start with the feelings and the sensations in the body. Starting from the top of your head all the way down to your shoulders. How is that feeling in there? And is there anything you can do to relax in through your head and your neck and your shoulders just a little bit more? And if you need to add more support with a block or a pillow, feel free to do that. Remember, anytime you need to move in your pose, please feel welcome to do that. We're not here and stuck and never being able to move. You've got to be able to ask yourself at any given time, this doesn't feel right, I need to move. And then just adjust the pose to make that happen. So we're sitting here with the feet together, And the legs opened up nice and wide. Noticing the sensations that are going on, maybe in your chest and your shoulders now. Feeling the opening in through the pectoral muscles, those chest muscles. Noticing the sensations going on in your inner thighs. And asking yourself if they feel right or do they need some more support. We're going to be targeting the hips a lot today, focusing on opening them up, but we'll also be working on opening up and through the chest, the latissimus dorsi, those big muscles underneath your armpits down into your back, and your tricep muscles, the ones on the back of your arms. If you need to make any adjustments in through the inner thighs, just straighten out the legs a little bit more so it doesn't feel like it's tugging too much. If you feel the legs shaking at all, then you need more support. We don't want to be shaking in a pose. We want to be relaxing in a pose. Good morning to my niece, Heather. Good morning, Heather. Good to have you here. So if you're feeling pretty good in that pose, let's focus on the breath and just see where it's at now. If you've noticed it's slowed down a little bit, if you're feeling like you've just rushed onto the mat, take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale through the mouth. Noticing on that exhale how much more relaxed you felt. And with every exhale, trying to lengthen the exhale so you can relax a little bit more. And as you start to relax, notice how every muscle in your body starts to relax. This time allows your body to recoup and regenerate, repairing all the damage in your muscles and organs that you've done through your training. That's good to do a little bit of damage, by the way. We want that damage so that we get stronger. But we also need to recover to make ourselves stronger. And as we start to come out of this pose, let's set an intention for our practice today, maybe an intention around being kinder to yourself and making sure that you take the recovery time that you need, both on a day-to-day basis and on a weekly basis, making sure you work recovery days, rest days into your program. If you're a triathlete or a runner, make sure you take that day of rest. Or if you're on a longer program, maybe take a week of rest, in which case you do less training hours in that week so that you can allow your body to adapt to the training that you've done so far. So we'll start to come out of the pose now, releasing the arms, take the knees together, and take those knees right on in towards your chest. And take a little rock from side to side, allowing that rebound to happen. And if your body's calling for anything else, feel free to go to that now. Tapping into your intuition again. And if you're feeling good, then we'll come into our next pose, which is called side lying supine deer. So we're going to look like deer on the mat. You'll need a bolster or a pillow. We've got some nice pillows here. a pillow or two, and or a foam roller also works as a bolster. So if you have a foam roller at home, you could wrap a towel around that to make it a bolster. So coming onto your right side, bring your right knee up and take your left leg behind you. So the left leg is going to go completely behind the body, like that. Okay. Need some space. There we go. That's it. And this leg is bent, the right leg is bent, and the left leg is bent behind you. Now we're going to take the foam roller or the block, or not the block, the bolster, and stick it right underneath at the bottom of your rib cage. So we'll lift up. You need to rearrange. We'll set the legs last. So just underneath, and we want to punch that up a little bit more so that it feels really good. Maybe we'll go on the side. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll take, so we've got the legs positioned, and that's what feels good for him. And then, does it?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Both arms are going to go up and overhead like that. And you can use a pillow here if you want. How's that feel?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good?
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody can see that. So this is side lying deer. So the bottom leg is bent and in front of the body, and the top leg is bent and behind the body. We have the bolster just under the rib cage. And then the arms are up and overhead. And you can use the support of the pillow for the head. And there we are. How are we doing? Are you okay there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you notice that was the first question I asked him. How's he doing? Are you okay there? We want to make sure first and foremost that the position feels right. Take any movements that you need to make sure that you can find a pose that you can hold for about 3 minutes. And remember, you can change it up anytime you like. As we come into the pose, start to soften in through the eyes, the neck, the jaw. Relaxing into the pose. Noticing if you're holding on to any tension anywhere. And if you are, change it up so that you're not holding that tension. Feeling a nice stretch. This is a lovely stretch for the side body, and it reaches right into the hips. Start to notice that stretch in your hips first, maybe. And then start to notice a stretch in what we call the latissimus dorsi. That's that long muscle that stretches underneath your armpit and then reaches into your back. We use these muscles a lot in swimming. Unfortunately, we're not swimming very much now, but hopefully you're doing all of your strength training for swimming. So we're just releasing those lovely, long, strong muscles. Notice if you're feeling a stretch in through your triceps as well. Those are the muscles behind your arms, the back of the arms. All of those muscles being released and relaxed. Enjoying this time of rest and recovery. Time to breathe. Time to focus on yourself. Noticing where your breath is now. Checking in to make sure it's slowing down. All right, it's time to come on out of this side. So we'll take the arms down first and start to remove the pillows.
Or I'll be just rotating, right?
Yeah, you're rotating to the other side, but maybe so that everybody can see what you're doing if they're just joining us. No, we're going to go that way. So flip yourself around. There we go. So we want to put the first pillow underneath, just starting at the bottom of the rib cage there. And then the other pillow for the head. We've got the bottom leg bent, and in front of the body, we've got the back of the top leg behind body bent. Both arms are up and overhead, feeling fully supported by the pillows and the bolsters. Both arms are straight as you can make them. And here we are, arrived on the other side. Checking in to make sure that this pose feels right. Making any changes in the pose that you need to make. Starting with checking in through the arms and the head. Checking to see if there's any tension that you're holding there, or are you fully relaxed? Giving yourself permission to make any movements that you need to feel better in this pose. Checking in on the hips and the legs. Making sure they're in the right position for you right now. And then the breath. Are you holding your breath? Or are you letting it flow gently in and out through the nose? We're not forcing the breath, we're just allowing it to happen. Found a great quote by a runner called Ryan Hall. He says, "I constantly remind myself that resting takes confidence. Anyone can train like a madman, but to embrace rest and to allow all the hard training to come out, that takes mental strength." And knowing that we've got 12 people on the mat right now joining us reminds me that we've got a lot of people in our community who have that mental strength to allow their bodies to rest and recover. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, I thank you, and your body thanks you as well for taking this time to rest and recover. And we'll come on off of this side, taking the arms back down, moving the pillows. And then coming back down onto the mats. We're going to just take a little windshield wiper to allow the rebound to happen. Taking your feet to either edge of the mat. So we want them nice and wide, a little bit wider there on the feet. Nice and wide. And then we're going to rotate the arms in one direction and the other direction. So take both arms up together and rotate them from one side to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling as you rotate from one side to the other side. The wonderful thing about these counter poses, the rebound poses, is that it really allows you to feel the differences that you've made already. All right, next up, we're coming into supported child's pose, but we're going to take our elbows onto a bolster or onto blocks or maybe onto your foam roller. So coming into child's pose, you can take your knees nice and wide apart and your feet together, or you can take your feet together. Up to you and where you feel like you want to open. We're focusing on the hips today, so maybe you want to take a little bit more of a wide knee stance here. We're going to take the elbows up onto the pillow and open them up. So we're reaching those arms nice and far forward. We could take another pillow underneath the chest there if that feels good. From another pillow?
Nope.
No? For those of you with knee problems, this can sometimes be a bit tricky to feel comfortable. So if you're feeling like that's too much of a tug on your knees, you can take a second pillow and put it right underneath your buttocks there so that you're feeling a little bit more supported and you can relax more in that pose. So we've got the hands together and the elbows are reaching forward. So we're feeling the stretch all the way in through the back of the triceps. Let's focus in on that first and make sure you're feeling that. If you're not feeling that stretch in the triceps, try adjusting the pillow or the blocks farther forward so you feel more of a stretch. From there, you want to feel the stretch right underneath your armpits and the latissimus dorsi as well. So notice if you're feeling that as well. And if you're not, again, push that pillow or those blocks a little bit farther forward to allow that to happen. And then as we're shifting our focus, we'll shift it down to the hips. Make sure that your hips feel right there. And if they don't, make the adjustments that you need to so it feels good. You feel a nice long stretch, but not so much, again, that you feel anything shaking or burning. And then notice your knees, if that feels okay on your knees. And if it doesn't, remember you can put a bolster or a block underneath your buttocks there to allow your body to be fully supported. Inner thighs are getting a nice stretch here. Lots going on. Now it's time to come back to the breath. Making sure we're not holding on to the breath. Just allowing it to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. With every exhale, sweeping that relaxation, that rest, that recovery through your body. As we rest, we're restoring our glycogen stores. We're building strength. We're reducing the risk of overuse injuries. We're helping our bodies repair themselves on rest days. Making recovery our priority. right, so we'll start to come out of that, taking the hands back down to the mat, releasing the pillow. And we'll come into tabletop pose, so the hands are directly underneath the shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. And we'll do a little banana asana and tabletop, looking towards your right toes. And then looking towards your left toes. So just stretching out your side body here, wiggling the hips from side to side. Turning your side body into a bit of a banana shape. Again, if there's something better that you'd rather do, feel free to jump into that. Just allowing that rebound to happen. And then we'll come into fire log pose. So we're going to take a seated easy pose first. And this is going to look so different for everyone. This is totally dependent on your flexibility in your hips or how loose your hips are, because some people are a little looser in their hips than others. So I'm unfortunately not blessed with being so loose. So you're going to take your right knee and put it on top of your left foot. So we're taking the right foot on top of your left knee. So we're thinking about our legs as being two fire logs. The log on the top, and then there's the log on the bottom. So here we're feeling the stretch in through the right hip, right? Got that? And we're going to sit tall. So this is a little bit more of a vibrant yin pose. Bringing a little bit more of a sensation into the hips and focusing on sitting nice and tall. You can maybe take a mudra with your fingers, taking your thumb and forefinger together, or thumb and middle finger together, whatever feels right. And from here, just focusing on how you can relax down in through your shoulders and your neck and your head. Noticing the sensations going on in your hips. If this is too much, you can maybe add a block underneath your knee. Softening in through the eyes. Rolling the shoulders back behind your ears. Noticing your breath. Noticing anything that you're holding on to. And we'll release the mudra and take the feet back down on the mat, making any little movements that you may need before we set up for the other side. So now we've got the left knee on the right foot and the left foot on the right knee, stacking the legs like fire logs. Sitting up nice and tall, draw those shoulders up and behind the ears. Maybe you want to take a different mudra, taking the thumb and middle finger together, or thumb and ring finger together, and noticing how different that feels and what sort of energy you're feeling in that mudra. Softening in through the eyes and the shoulders, and And softening in through the legs. Noticing if you need to make any adjustments to make this feel better. If you need support for your knee, you can take a little block or a foam roller or a bolster and stick it right under your knee. If you're feeling any tension anywhere. Rest and recovery. Imagining those muscles repairing themselves right down to the cellular level. Where they've been broken, you're repairing. Releasing that mudra now. Wiggle in through your fingers and switch off the legs. We'll take both legs out in front and give them a little shake there. So this is a two-part yin pose. We start in fire log and then we're going to go to cow face pose. We wanted to open up the hips a little bit first. All right, so taking the left leg underneath your body, we're going to take the right knee on top of the left knee. So again, this is going to look different for everybody. You may need to find yourself with a block or a pillow underneath the knees like that. Are you okay?
Of course.
Can you lean forward at all? Not so much. Are you okay? Yeah?
For real.
If you need that pillow under there, feel free to use it because we're taking the arms overhead and we need to be able to sit nice and tall. The other thing that you can do in this one is grab hold of a block or a bolster and stick it right underneath your buttocks. This may feel better so that you're able to sit a little bit taller.
Sure.
Okay. Sit on that. You're taller.
I am.
All right. So lots of things you can play around with. There's no better or best. The best version is what feels right for you. So if you need more knee support, you've got the pillow under there. If you need to be able to sit up taller, we've got the block underneath the buttocks. All right, time to take those arms up and overhead. Inhale. And as you exhale, take the right arm and press it down your spine, trying to keep your head straight. If you're feeling really flexible, you could also take the left hand and grab hold of the right hand there. Lots going on here. As you've moved into that more aggressive version of it, make sure that feels right. If not, you can just release the bottom hand anytime. Remember, always give yourself permission to move. So again, this is more of an active yin pose. Lots of vibration and sensation going on here. Feeling those fascial layers releasing here. And make sure you're in a place where you can breathe. Check that breath. Releasing in through the arms. Take a little shoulder roll. Release those arms, those wrists. And we'll switch on over to the other side. So now we've got the bottom leg as the right leg, and the top leg is the left leg. Trying to bring those knees together. Again, if you need a pillow there, you can pick a pillow there to support you, or maybe just leave it as is. All right, making sure you're sitting up nice and tall, and sometimes one hip can be tighter than the other, so just check in on that. And we'll take the left arm up and overhead. Both arms up.
Good if somebody's paying attention.
Take the left hand down the spine, and you can push down with your right hand, or you can reach around and try to bind that pose. Making sure you can still sit up nice and tall. If you're not feeling tall, if you're slumping over, then grab hold of a block and sit onto that block. Checking in on the sensations in your body. If you're feeling like you're in a comfortable place, checking back with the breath. Feeling those wonderful fascial release vibrations going on in your body. It's a very energizing, relaxing pose. Is that an oxymoron? I think so. Softening in through the eyes, the neck, the jaw. And we'll release the arms, wiggle out those shoulders, and do the cross of the legs. And just come into a nice seated, easy pose. Again, if you need the block to be able to sit up taller, feel free to keep that block there. We'll take the hands onto the knees. And then just take little circles with your body, moving it in one direction. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling as we go to the back and exhaling as we move to the front. Relaxing in through the shoulders. Dancing like nobody's watching because nobody is. And we'll rotate the other way. Feeling that lovely rebound effect. And we'll come on to our backs. We're doing a supported bridge pose next. So in supported bridge, we'll need a block or a foam roller, or something hard is usually better, but you can also use a bolster here. So coming onto your back. Taking the feet down to the mat, lift on up through the hips. And we're going to take that block and stick it just underneath the belt line there. How's that feel? You can adjust it as you need to. Yeah. So a couple of options here. We can take the feet and straighten them out. Straighten out the legs, or you can keep your feet on the mat. Maybe you want to start with the legs bent and then move into the legs straight, or maybe legs straight feels good right away. What you want to do with the arms is up to you. You could take the arms back up into cactus pose. So taking bend in the elbows, opening in through the chest. If that feels good, you can hold on to that there. If that doesn't feel good, then you can take your arms right on back down beside you. Landing in the pose and noticing. Noticing where those sensations are through the shoulders and the chest. And noticing if you need to make any adjustments. Do you feel that stretch? Or do you feel like it's a little bit painful? And if it's painful, adjust. Moving your focus down into your back and noticing if that feels good, or if you're feeling any shooting or stabbing pain, release the block. Maybe put it down to level 1, or maybe you don't want to block there at all. Noticing the hips and whether or not you want to keep your legs straight or whether you want to take your feet onto the mat and take bend back into your knees. And noticing the breath. Is it still flowing? In through the nose and out through the nose. Allowing your body to adapt to its training. Helping your body repair itself. Repair those damaged tissues. Preparing the mind, giving it a day off of working hard at your training. Giving it a day just to be at peace. And being okay with that. Being okay with taking a rest day. Feeding your body with good rest, good sleep, nutrition, and meditation. As we move out of this side, we're going to press the feet back down into the mat, taking bend in the knees. Pressing into your feet, lift up your hips. Ooh, and we remove the block. Maybe you want to stay up in a little bridge there for a minute, just to feel that. Or maybe not. See what you need. And I would suggest a happy baby here, taking the knees up towards the sky. You could grab hold of your big toes, or maybe grab hold of your calves or your ankles. And maybe rock from side to side there a little bit. Or anything else that feels good. We are going to end the practice with a hip crossover stretch before we move into Shavasana. So just one more pose. So coming into the hip crossover stretch, you can take both knees up towards the sky and take both knees over towards the left, or option 2 would be to straighten the left leg. So let's try that first and see how it feels. Straighten out your left leg Bring your right knee in towards your chest. And then we're going to take that right knee across the body and open the right arm into a T. So here, when we normally do this in a yoga practice, we don't hold it for very long. But because we're holding it longer, we really have to ask ourselves whether or not we want to stick a bolster or a block or something underneath that knee so that we can relax into the pose. So we'll try it and see how it feels. Tell me if it feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not holding on to anything there, right? Okay. So we've got the left arm straight, palm facing up towards the sky. Release any tension down onto the floor. And if you like, you can look over your left shoulder. Only if it feels good. If you've got neck issues, maybe that's not feeling so nice. So with lots of people concerned about their immune systems lately, a lot of people have been asking me, how do I know if I'm overtraining and maybe compromising my immune system? So there's several ways that we can look at that. You can look at your heart rate in the morning, and if you suddenly notice that it's higher than usual, then there's a good chance that your parasympathetic nervous system is demanding a lot from you. We have another thing that we use called HRV, heart rate variability. And with that, you can look at that on an Apple Watch, or there's another app called Untitled that we use. And that's to look at the different, how many heartbeats or how much time you have between heartbeats. And with the Untitled app, if it says a green light, you know you're good to go. And if you get a red light, then you need to take a rest day. Another great way to tap into whether or not you need a rest day is by walking up and down the stairs. And if you're finding that walking up and down the stairs is a bit of a struggle because your legs are sore from your workout, then you know you need to take a rest day or take an active recovery day, which is what we're doing today. Actively recovering the muscles. And the other great tool that we use is on Training Peaks, which is a software program that we use to measure your training stress daily. And for those members of mine that are on Training Peaks, we look at that daily and ask ourselves whether or not the training stress score is too low. And if it gets below a certain number, then for sure you have to take a day off. But really, you can ask yourself every day, what do I need? Do I need a recovery day or not? It's having the confidence to ask yourself first and make recovery a priority. So we'll come on out of that side, releasing the knee off, bolster the block, rolling onto your backs, straightening out your spine, taking any movements that feel good at this time. I'm just going to get you to flip this way. And we'll set on over for the other side. So taking the left knee in towards the chest, the right knee in towards the chest. Cross that leg right on over. And again, if you need the support there onto a bolster or block, you can do that. You've got the right arm straight. Do you want anything under your right arm? Okay. And we're just looking over the right shoulder if that feels good. Listening again to those sensations in your body. and whether those feel good. Making any adjustments that you need to. Making this rest and recovery time your absolute priority. Being okay with looking after yourself. And we'll shift on out of the side. Releasing the leg, below the blocks, the foam rollers, whatever you've got going on. And take any final movements that you need as we move into Shavasana. Taking up lots of space on your mat, on your floor. Palms facing towards the sky. If cactus feels good, you can take the arms back into cactus, or maybe not. That's not relaxing right now. Just do what you need to do to find a pose, a position on the mat that feels good. If you're feeling a little sore in your back today, maybe take a pillow or a block or a bolster underneath your knees. Feeling the sensations of just allowing gravity to sink your body down onto your mat. And as we finish off, we'll finish off with a singing bowl, listening to the sounds and the vibrations of the singing bowl. Rest and recovery. We'll start to bring movement back into the fingers, back into the toes. And we'll roll out those wrists, the ankles, and take a full body stretch, reaching those arms up and overhead. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale through the mouth. Rolling onto your side, left side for you. Take the arm out to the side and use that as a pillow. Or if you've got your pillow handy, you can use your pillow too. Okay? Coming into fetal pose. Taking these few last moments of relaxation and recovery for yourself. And being okay with that. Taking your hand down to the mat, lift yourself all the way back up to seated. Nice easy pose. Setting up for a nice tall spine. Drawing those shoulders up towards the ears, inhale, and as you exhale, drop them right back down your ears. And we'll take one more like that, feeling the energy with each one. And exhale. We'll take the hands to heart center, closing off the eyes. Taking these last few moments of rest and relaxation to remind ourselves that resting takes confidence. Anyone can train like a madman, but to embrace rest and to allow all the hard training to come out, that takes mental strength. Thank you, Ryan Hall, for that wonderful quote. And I leave you with that and bid you a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you, Martin, for doing this practice today. And thank you to all of you who joined us. And just drop a comment in the comment box so I know who is here. And we'll see you on Monday for Hot Power Yoga. And this weekend we have the Chio Challenge happening, where we're challenging everybody to ride 50 to 70 kilometers and donate a mask to Chio. Thanks for joining us.